Hey, great to have you with us, everybody, on this Wednesday, September the 16th. It's the Frank Beckmann Show, the spot where we always keep you the best-informed audience in all of radio. We love talking with you. Detroit, you know that WJR is a place where all of you come to talk, and this show certainly embraces that. So we'll take a lot of your phone calls this morning. But let's get things going by talking about the election. What else? The nation is getting ready for it, and the more you hear about all these absentee ballots out there, the more you think that this could be a real mess. Here in the state of Michigan, for instance, 2.1 million absentee ballots were requested. 2.1 million. Think about that. We only have about 10 million people in the entire state. That's 20% of the population asked for absentee ballots. So those have to be mailed in. And what happens when they get mailed in? Well, now you've got to have elections officials start setting them aside in a secure location and count them after the ballots, after the polling places have all closed. Ruth Johnson's been in that spot. She was Secretary of State, as you know. She's state senator now from the 14th District of Michigan, and kind enough to join us again to talk about this. And Ruth Johnson, Senator Johnson, I almost called you Secretary Johnson again. I apologize for that. But Senator Johnson, are you as concerned as I am that we're just headed for a real mess here in less than 2 months?
Yeah, I think we're already in the mess. There's a lot of problems. Just yesterday, I got a report that the Secretary of State accidentally sent out ballots for the MOVE Act, which is for military personnel, to get them out 45 days in advance so they have a chance to vote. And it listed the president's name, and then it listed as his running mate somebody named Cohen rather than, Pence. And then it was missing the one on the Libertarian for their running mate. And, we have local home rule. The local clerks are the ones that were supposed to send out the absentee ballot requests. Instead, the current Secretary of State hijacked that from the local clerks without a law that enabled her to, and she sent out millions of them and over 800,000 to people that are not qualified voters. And I was just talking to a clerk this morning. She said there's no way we can tell whether they are qualified voters or not because they are on a subset of people that we knew surrendered their driver's license, many of them, most of them. They surrendered their driver's license and moved to another state and can vote there. And they're registered to vote and may be voting, and we're not going to know. So I think every time you do something like this, you're starting to cast a shadow of a doubt for people, and that's the last thing we need. We don't need to have courts and attorneys and judges deciding the election. The people need to. But when you do things you're not supposed to do and then set it up for the 1,520 clerks that have been named some of the best in the nation for conducting elections, you set them up for failure. I'm very concerned about what's going on.
It's amazing to me that we have taken something that's worked all these years here in the state of Michigan. We've not had problems with counting ballots and the like. We have, in individual locations from time to time, but as a state, we've done very, very well. Why change all that? I don't get it.
Well, I think it's more of unilateral decision-making based on one's own desires rather than having it go through a process and listen to what people want. People want local control because then they're more accountable. The clerks have to be more accountable. And the clerks know. I had a clerk that called some people that use those absentee ballot requests that are completely filled out that were sent to them, and they found their way to the other state and they tried to vote. She called them up and said, "What's going on? I know you and Marge moved." And they said, "Well, we got this. It's convenient, so we thought it's okay." You don't need anybody double voting. And if you have one side, you'll have operatives that will cheat. Most of us would never. You also have the other side that some operatives will cheat. And when you blast a hole the size of the Grand Canyon and the potential of cheating, you really lose the essence of democracy. One qualified voter, one vote. We were number one in the country for getting people registered to vote. Our 1,520 clerks that conduct and the 83 county clerks that had the canvass, it was working fabulously. But we have a Secretary of State that does not believe in letting people vote on machines. And we lost up to a third of our votes in August because people didn't vote on machines, and the machines would have told them that they made a mistake if it was, they crossed over and voted for someone. We had one community that was taking someone off the ballot afterwards. So we have to have citizen involvement, and thank goodness people are willing to take their time. They are true patriots to watch these elections, it's hard to watch when you have a system that's being changed. Good news is 757 passed out of the Senate yesterday, and 756, which will allow the 30,000 precinct workers to do shifting so that they don't have to be there 20 or 30 hours, has passed in the committee in the House, and it's going to go up for a vote next week.
Just very quickly, because we do have to run, how long do you think it's going to take to count all the ballots here in Michigan to figure out who won the presidential side, let's say?
Well, because so many absentee ballots, over 800,000 were sent out to non-qualified voters, the clerks are buried in trying to figure stuff out. I think you just need to be patient. I know, like at 2 in the morning in one community, they said don't even look to see if they're registered, if they can vote, or they're duplicates. Just let them go. Well, we don't want that. We want to make sure that our elections have integrity and encourage everyone. Don't just listen to some soundbite or look at Chinese lit. Do your research and
Absolutely.
then vote.
Senator Ruth Johnson, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time, and please keep up the efforts, because we want those elections in Michigan all to be clean.